Welcome back to SF Craft Season 2 for episode 16. In this episode, we are going to be exploring the new 1.17 chunks, hopefully finding some copper and amethyst, because we are going to be using it for the third building of the city center, the casino. Last episode, Zero invited a few people to help us with the war, but they never actually showed up for it. But they still joined the server and they built this entire new base on the peninsula, so let's take a look at it. These platforms don't have anything on it yet, but I'm guessing they're going to be putting farms here. And they already have a full enchantment table. Over here they have some basic farms. And down here is where the main part of the base is. So these are just empty tanks, which are probably meant for axolotls, but I don't know. There's no steps anywhere, so I'm just gonna have to break out of here and try to fix this somehow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break through the floor. But here we go, these tanks are filled with axolotls. And we go out here, there are a few more buildings. This one over here has a villager trading hall with some librarians. This one has mending, so not too bad. And over here is the crashed plane, which looks really good. Let's take a look at the inside. Batman is on right now. And they actually got a lot of stuff in here. But it is now time to start our 1.17 adventure and find some of those new resources. So we are in a new 1.17 chunk, and I have already found some glow lichens and copper over here. So we are going to collect this copper, but we are going to need a lot more. I was not sure that we were going to find one of these, but we did. There's an amethyst geode right here with a creeper in it. So once I block off some of this water, I'm going to collect some amethyst shards and calcite. We are now back at my base, and I've collected a decent amount of copper, so I don't know if that's going to be enough, but have to get out my fortune pickaxe and see. But up here, I have already put away some of the resources I've gathered in this chest. And we got all of this calcite. So let's see how much we actually got. And there we go. So we got 5 stacks of copper plus 17. And that is pretty good for now, but we'll have to see if it's enough after we fortune the other stacks. My pickaxe almost broke after fortuning all of that copper, so it is about time we finally get this thing fully enchanted. And we're going to put some netherite on that as well. And there we go, we now have a fully enchanted netherite fortune 3 pickaxe. So this took a long time to smelt, but we got all of this copper, iron, and gold from that mining session. And let's see how much this is in blocks. So we got almost a stack and a half of copper, 56 blocks of iron, and 17 gold. And after putting that iron and gold away, we are looking pretty good. So now that we got some calcite, we can start working on the floor for the first floor of the bank. So I'm going to dig out all of this grass here and replace it with calcite. And then eventually I'm going to bring some villagers in to work at the bank. I have placed every single calcite block that I have, and it was almost enough to fill in the entire floor. But it should be alright because once I place some walls for the villagers, I should be able to take the calcite from under those and fill in that corner. So this looks really good with the smooth stone, and once I add a ceiling on, it definitely will. So I have been talking about this for the entire beginning of the video, but it is finally time to start working on the third building of the city center, which is the casino. So I have placed cut copper blocks in all of the corners of the building so you can see how big it's going to be. But I'm going to have to start building these up, and hopefully we'll have enough copper blocks, but we'll have to see. I didn't have enough copper blocks. So we are back in the 1.17 chunk again, and I have found some axolotls in a mine shaft. Oh, there's a creeper, no. Oh, that was close. I don't want to blow up the axolotls, but I'm going to pick up that other one eventually too. So we have gotten all of this stuff from that mine shaft in 1.17 chunk, and we got 3 different colored axolotls. We got all of this copper, iron, and gold, which adds up to a total of 2 stacks and 7 blocks of copper, a little over a stack of iron, and 10 gold blocks. So I have built all of these corners up to where the top of the building is going to be. And we finally got some of this copper to oxidize, but eventually it is all going to oxidize into that color, and that will look really good with the main wall block, which is going to be terracotta. So now I just have to make sure that we have enough of that too. I had spent a lot of time in the 1.17 chunk waiting for all of this amethyst to grow so we would have enough amethyst for the glass, because all of the glass in the casino is going to be tinted glass. Now most of you probably are too young to have been in a casino, but there are usually no windows because they don't want you to know what time of day it is so you don't leave. So we are going to use tinted glass, that way there are still windows, but if you're not paying attention, you're not going to realize how long you've been there. So this should be enough. I've counted it up just to make sure, and I've outlined all of the walls with terracotta. So I think we are ready to start building this up. I'm going to do this one floor at a time like my base, and build all of the casino games with the floor. So I have built all of the walls for the first floor and started working on the first game, which is going to be poker. And what was that? I just got hit by something. But I started working on the item sorter to collect the emerald and start dispensing the cards. And once an emerald is collected, it is going to activate a shulker box randomizer, which is going to activate droppers that will drop the cards. So I have set most of this up. We already have our shulker boxes, and down here we have all the droppers with ice that water is going to be on. And right here you can see how it works. So each shulker box will hold a different amount of items, and that will have a different redstone output from a comparator. So this over here will dispense and then reuse the shulker boxes. And that signal will only activate the furthest dispenser because of these repeaters and redstone torches. So if we go up here, you can see all of the different shulker boxes, which I have made different colors, but no one is ever going to see them. That's just more to keep them organized. So we're going to fill these up with probably wooden shovels, but we'll have to see. So I've now put all of the cards in these droppers. And for some of these I had to use the full word instead of just the letter, because for some reason it was censoring the single letters, so they might look a little bit different, but all of the cards are labeled. So I have built a return system so that all of the cards can be returned to the correct dispenser as long as they're placed in the right barrel. And the machine itself is now 100% complete, and there is now water with the bubble elevator to bring the cards up to the top, and there's another button that you can use to dispense more cards after you pay your emerald. So now if I want to return this, it is an 8 of diamonds, so eventually these barrels will be labeled with signs, but for now I have to count it out and find which one it is. But once I put it in there, it will be returned to the dispenser, and it will be ready to go for the next hand. So we are at the shopping district because apparently a lot of my books have sold out again. Not in any of those, but a whole stack in there, so we sold one of the 64 emerald Unbreaking 3 books. And one of these 25 emerald books. Those don't sell very often. And we sold out of mending again. I should almost put more than 5 books there, but the villager will only sell so many at a time. And none in any of these. So that's not bad. As always, some things have changed since we've been here last. And this is apparently now a police station. We should also check our other store with people spending so much money. And we'll take a look at that new one after this. We sold 4 of the scaffolding, so those completely sold out. And 1 wall. And 3 of the half stacks of cactus, wow. But no arrows and bones. And, of course, all the bricks sold out. Well, we finally got rid of those, but they're not going to be getting restocked anytime soon. And I crafted all those stacks of emeralds into blocks, and we are looking rich now. So this new building is Zero's Steakhouse, and I don't know if those mushrooms in the doorway or anything related to that, but I'm taking that food. But he has a random chest on the floor, and nothing in this room. But back here he has some cows, so I'm guessing that's where the steak's coming from, and he has wheat growing here too. So all of the food will be produced on site. And there's nothing out here. So we'll have to come back to this once it's completely done, but it looks pretty good for now. We are back at the casino, and the first floor is now almost completely done, and all of the copper corners are almost fully oxidized. And if we go inside here, the floor is complete, and I added some tables in here for playing poker, and back here there's a little bar, and hopefully I'll be able to get a villager to go in here. So these tables will make it easy to play because the shulker box in the center will be a place where people can place their bets or show their cards. And for the ceiling I use black glazed terracotta, which looks really good with the floor. And I added these 4 chandeliers, which look really nice. So now we can continue working on the casino with the next floor and game, which is going to be blackjack. But first we have to build the walls. And the second floor now has walls, so now it is really starting to look like a building. But if we go up here, I have measured everything out And right where I place that wall block is going to be where the floor is. So everything below that is going to be space under the floor for the redstone machine. So this one I completely designed myself in Creative. So we are going to go into a time lapse for it. So we are back from that time lapse, and the machine itself is 100% complete. So in here we have our cards and randomizers, and over here we have our machine, which dispenses your opponent's cards if you're playing by yourself. These barrels here are for returning cards, and down here you have droppers which dispense your emeralds if you win. And underneath the machine there is an item sorter to collect the payment, just like with the poker machine, and there is a shulker box randomizer that activates those 4 dispensers depending on what the signal is. So a lot of the components in this are basic redstone machines that I combined together to make this work. So over here we have our shulker box randomizer like with the poker machine, and a dispenser dispenses a random shulker box which is then broken by a piston, and that shulker box has a comparator which releases an output that activates one of these redstone torches, which then activates a dropper and dispenses a card. So now I need to actually finish the rest of this floor and build the ceiling, so we're going to do that next. The second floor is now complete with holes for bubble elevators and torches hidden under carpets so it's lit up, And these wool patterns are based on where the bubble elevators are going to be. And the ceiling is black glazed terracotta like the first floor with sea lanterns. So now we can place this button here and test the machine. So this button is how you would hit, and this would give you a card, which is a 5. So if I got this, probably want to hit again, and then if I lost, I would put it in this barrel here. But if I was just starting to play, I would put an emerald in here, and the machine will automatically give me a card. And I'll put that in the losing barrel for now too. But I'll test out the winning barrel with this button here. And you heard that click, that would be your emeralds getting dispensed. So now I'll test out the single player stand machine. So if you wanted to stand, you would flip that lever and it will give you your opponent's cards. And you can see there are more cards in there. And when you're done looking at those cards, you simply put it back in this barrel, and the machine will automatically put it back with the rest of the cards. So I would like to continue working on this with the next 2 machines, but we are out of time, so I think that is going to be it for this episode of SF Craft. Thanks for watching this episode of SF Craft. So we finally got back to work on a real project, and it was good to get back to the city center and work on the bank a little and get started on the casino. We now have 2 casino games that are 100% complete, except for the instructions, and we have 2 more planned for the next episode, so hopefully we'll be able to play them in it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in episode 17.